What is going on, everyone? Today we'll be talking about a fantasy UFC 305 main card, prelims, and early prelims, top to bottom, bottom to top, however you want to put it. And it's just my take, my opinion on what would make the best UFC 305 possible for the UFC. And let's start off with the main event. Let's start off with a bang. Let's start off with the main event at UFC 305. Dricus du Plessis. It has to be him versus Israel Adesanya. Now, as a Sean Strickland fan, you'd think, oh, well, surely after him beating Costa, you want him to go against Dricus du Plessis for the title. I do want to see Dricus versus Adesanya because that's a rivalry I want to see. I want to see the press conference, the face-off, and the fight. And, Sean can wait. You can wait, buddy. So, Dricus versus Adesanya for the title in the main event, it works perfectly. I know, obviously, Adesanya's coming off of a loss to Sean, but he says Adesanya, he gets that privilege, he gets that luxury. It doesn't really matter for him. Co-main event, Shavkat versus Della. No, I was going to say Shavkat versus Jack Della Maddalena, but obviously Jack Della Maddalena is injured and will be back until the end of the year at best. But I thought, you know what? Let's keep Shavkat. Shavkat needs activity. His last fight was at 296. This will be 9 pay-per-views later. Let's put Shavkat versus Colby. Bit random, I know, but hey, let's do Shavkat versus Colby. And if Shavkat wins, probably when Shavkat wins, put him against Leon. Shavkat's knocking on the door for title shot anyway. Third fight in, flyweight bout, Erceg versus Moreno. We all know Erceg's the best flyweight on the planet right now, but unfortunately, for some random reason, for some mysterious reason, he hasn't got the belt wrapped around his waist. So let's prove it against a former world champion in Brandon Moreno. Two-time world champion, Brandon Moreno. Obviously, Erceg's coming off of his win against Pantoja, yet doesn't have the belt for some reason. And Moreno's coming off a weird loss to Brandon Royval, but hey, shit happens, bro. Shit happens. I'm touching my face a lot right now, I don't know why. Erceg versus Moreno, Erceg's probably going to win, and it will just help his stardom and help his credibility and help his star power because he's the people's champion and the real champion, but just one without a belt. Second fight in on the main card, Dan Hooker versus Renato Moicano. I think they both want this fight, to be honest. Both guys would love this fight, I reckon. Obviously, Dan Hooker's the attraction here, in his home, versus Renato Moicano, just gone off a win against Jalen Turner. Obviously, the guy who Dan Hooker also beat. So let's see who's the best Jalen Turner beater. Is it Dan Hooker or is it Renato Moicano? And they both can get, top 10, deep into the top 10 fight. Who could you give them, to be fair? The winner? Fiziev? Give the winner Fiziev, I say. If it's Moicano, don't, because we know what happened there. But if it's Hooker, give him Fiziev. And then the opening fight of the main card, Tai Tuivasa versus his literal brother. It probably couldn't happen, but hey, it's fantasy. They're probably best friends, but it's fantasy. Tai Tuivasa versus Justin Tafa. The Bam Bams. Both their nicknames are Bam Bam. So let's make that fight happen. Tai Tuivasa versus Justin Tafa. There will be a finish. There will be a finish in the first round. Obviously, they're both from that neck of the woods, down under. So, look, the fans are going to love that one. And it's a beautiful way and a brilliant way and the best way to open up the main card. Main event of the prelims. Some people say it's the feature fight of the prelims. Look, it's the main event, I say. The prelims is a different show. Main event of the prelims, I say. Again, a pretty high stakes fight as well. High ranking. Kai France versus Matheus Nicolau. Nicolau coming off the KO loss to Perez. But, let's give him another tough fight with Kai France. Also, France coming off the loss to Brandon Moreno. No, coming off the robbery loss to Amir Albazi. Let's put him in there against Nicolau, who he'll beat. And push him towards title as well. Actually, I don't really care about Kai France. I think he's a bit gay, just with his whole... He can just be a bit cringe, to be honest. Every time you see him on the camera, he does that thing where he does that and sticks his tongue out. I hate it. Next fight on the prelims, Jimmy Crute, the Australian, versus Ion Cutelaba. Let's do that fight. I'm pretty sure Elon's coming off a win. Jimmy Crute is most likely coming off a loss. He is coming off a loss to Alonzo Menefield. It just makes sense. It's another reason for fans to come. I'm sure Jimmy Crute's got a lot of fans there. It just makes sense. Obviously, but Jimmy Crute's build is incredible. Next fight. Justin Tafa's brother, Junior Tafa. Let's get Junior Tafa in there against Muhammad Usman. Oh my lordy lord. Talk about goosebumps with that one. Obviously, two young guys. Actually, is Muhammad Usman young? I don't know if Muhammad Usman's young. But two young guys up against each other. As soon as fans see the name Usman, they're going to tune in. And obviously, Junior Tafa, he brings the heat. Obviously, he lost his last fight, but it's all good. But he brings the heat. Opening fight of the prelims, Josh Culibao versus Hakeem Dawodu. Josh Culibao versus Hakeem Dawodu. Again, just a featherweight bout that makes sense. Josh Culibao's obviously the Australian here with the fans, doing pretty good. He's not too bad. He can be a bit hit and miss, but he's a likeable character. Versus Hakeem Dawodu. He's black, so who doesn't want to watch a black guy fight? And then early prelims, capping off the video, early prelims. Main event of the early prelims, Jack Jenkins versus Morgan Charrière, the last pirate. Jack Jenkins, obviously, again, he's the hometown boy, versus the French, I'm pretty sure French, Morgan, the last... Is it Morgan Charrière? I'm pretty sure it's Morgan... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Morgan Charrière. It's a bit of a weird name than Morgan Charrière. But Charrière, the last pirate, versus Jack Jenkins. Why? They're just close to each other in the rankings. Charrière looks cool. So, just make that fight, I say. Just make that fight. And then, third fight in on the early prelims, Jacob Malkoun versus Bruno Silva. Middleweight bout. Bruno Silva, he brings the heat. He's got the experience. He puts on good fights, entertaining fights, versus Jacob Malkoun. I'm going to say that. Actually, I'll probably say that bit. Jacob Malkoun. Don't want to extend the last bit. Jacob Malkoun. Jacob Malkoun. Obviously, Malkoun's the hometown... I can't say that word, bro. He's the hometown boy, hometown guy. Fans will buy. Fans will come and see him. I'm sure he's got some weirdo fans. Second fight on the early prelims, Jamie Mullarkey versus the one and only Jordan Levitt. Jordan Levitt's going to bring a lot of attention because he's gay, and he wants to let the crowd know. He's got a wife who he's lying to, clearly. But Jamie Mullarkey versus Jordan Levitt, and Jamie Mullarkey will most likely lose. So that's a good way to get the fans nice and depressed for the rest of the card. And then opening bout of the event, probably the most depressing fight you can ever see be made. Shane Young, I mean, it doesn't really matter who he fights, really. But Shane Young versus Herbert Burns. Yeah, the soy boy himself, Herbert Burns, who just quits out of every single fight he gets. Yeah. Why? It's just an Aussie, isn't it? It's just an Aussie. Getting the one on there, I say. But anyway, that was my UFC 305 fantasy full card breakdown. Not breakdown. Full card fantasy, I suppose. What do you guys think? I think it makes sense. I think every single fight makes sense. The Shavkat versus Colby one's fun. Yeah, makes sense. What do you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to tune in next for my predictions video for Cannonier versus Imavov. It'll be a good one, and my predictions will all be correct. So, yeah, make sure to watch that video coming up in the next couple of days, and I'll see you for that said video. See you later.